We've all seen those weird pop-up ads that say, "Has science gone too far?" with a picture of a bird with human arms. We all know those aren't real, but where has science gone too far? We all know that without modern scientific advancements, we would be in a world that is not as prosperous as it is right now. But while we certainly gain a lot from what science has to offer, bleeding edge breakthroughs are often used for purposes that are less than humanitarian. This whole claim is the basis of the infamous book made by Mary Shelley, Frankenstein. The underlying theme of Frankenstein is to not meddle in something that is so distinctly natural, making life. How can I describe my emotions at this catastrophe? Or how delineate the wretch whom with such infinite pains and care I had endeavored to form? Page 70, Mary Shelley, Frankenstein. Dr. Frankenstein had devoted so much time from his life into beating death. But once he had found the cure to death, why was he so disgusted by his life's work? The cycle of life is not supposed to be changed in a measure this drastic. A real world...
Keep going. Just keep going. Just keep going.
Can you edit this?
Because Louisa just sent me a link to an online editor.
Okay.
So then you could just probably edit it on that. So just keep on, start a sentence before where you were.
Okay.
Keep your head in the same place.
The cycle of life is not supposed to be changed in a measure this drastic. A real-world example of this can be seen in the ethics of cloning. According to a scholarly article written by Harold T. Shapiro, choosing what life comes into nature can lead to opening the door to a form of eugenics, or by tempting some to manipulate others as if they were objects instead of persons. This is exactly what happens in Frankenstein. The doctor sees humans as nothing but objects that need to be put back together, but doesn't think of the implications that come along with making artificial life, like Frankenstein's monster. The other thing when talking about ethics is what the subject of these experiments will feel. In Frankenstein, the monster felt nothing but disgust and hate from the people around him, including his creator. This can be seen in the quote, "But my form is a filthy type of yours, more horrid even from the very resemblance." Should a sentient being who has emotions be subject to ridicule and be a social outcast just so a scientist can make himself a name? Again, Shapiro says that artificial life, like cloning, can cause psychological harm associated with a possibly diminished sense of individuality and personal autonomy. How much harm should be acceptable in the name of progress? For someone with morals, that should be zero. A counter-argument that can be made for using sentient organisms for scientific research is that the cost of a few lives outweighs all the lives that can be saved via this scientific research. Again, bringing back cloning. Cloning could enable parents to have a child with a genome identical to that of a person with good health or other desirable characteristics. And cloning would also be an efficient way to create a savior sibling who could act as a tissue donor for a sick sibling. But this brings back the issue of who can decide where to draw the line in terms of using organisms for testing. Using artificial life for experiments is the same as using human beings, and in my opinion, is akin to human trafficking. A life should be treated as what it is, a life. No creature with the capacity for emotion should have to suffer torment for the sake of scientific advancement. This suffering is what makes Frankenstein a true horror.